The Spy and the Traitor is the story of Oleg Gordievsky and the case that surrounded him. Now, Oleg Gordievsky was a career KGB officer. He was really a creature of the Soviet system. His father was a KGB officer. His elder brother was a KGB officer. He was brought up in a special compound in Moscow, entirely populated by KGB families. So he was of the system. But he rebelled against it. And he rebelled against it for a number of reasons, some of them to do with character, simple personality. He just couldn't bear some aspects of the communist system. He also witnessed the building of the Berlin Wall, which profoundly shocked him as a young man. He also was serving as a KGB officer in Scandinavia when the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia happened in 1968, putting down the Prague Spring, and that too had a profound effect on him. He was then very slowly and very gradually courted by MI6. They spotted him quite early on as a possible recruit, and over a very long time in a sort of complicated courtship process, they managed to reel him in. And he began to produce information of the highest quality for British intelligence. This went on for a decade. For 10 years, both in Moscow and in his postings abroad, he was producing an enormous amount of material, particularly in London. He ended up, by a series of rather clever moves, getting himself posted to London. Britain then, by a series of equally clever moves, began to sack his bosses one by one and declare them persona non grata. So he began to move up the food chain, as it were. And he ended up being appointed the head of the KGB in London, which meant that he had access to the crown jewels, really. He had access to the safe in KGB headquarters in London. But it was while he was ascending to this position that Gordievsky was betrayed. And I won't give away what happens, but he was recalled to Moscow. He believed he was going back in order to be anointed, really, as the station chief, the KGB station chief in London. In fact, it was an ambush. And he then had to activate an escape plan, which had been put in place many, many years earlier. And the escape plan, and again, I'm not going to give away what happens, but the escape forms the large part of the story. And it's some, I hope, quite a nail-biting moment.